Hi everyone and welcome back to another Lawn Fawn video. This is Mindy Egan and in today's video I'm going to be creating a rainbow snow globe magic iris card. I want to show you that the snow globe is not just for winter scenes or Christmas scenes, that it can be used throughout the entire year. What inspired my card today is we actually have a snow globe from a zoo that we had gone to many years ago. And I just thought that was a great inspiration to start from and use this snow globe in many different scenes. I'm going to start off by creating the background for my card. So I have a piece of a white cardstock here from Lawn Fawn. This is 80 pound, and this is cut to 4¼ by 5½. And I'm just taking some pieces of Post-it tape and putting that on the sides with a little bit sticking off of the edge. The reason for that is I'm going to be attaching the cloud stencil. So that stencil is going to stick to the Post-it tape that I have on the sides and towards the bottom of my card. So I lined up my first edge of the stencil at the very top of my card, and I'm going to be ink blending on Tumbled Glass Distress Oxide ink with just a foam blending tool. I'm starting off of the stencil, working my way up to the cardstock and just slowly blending off. Kind of a light hand when I'm doing this. I don't want to come in too harsh. I can always add more color if I want. Now, I did speed this up, but I'm showing the entire process as I'm just picking up that cloud stencil, turning it one direction, sticking it back down to that Post-it tape, and then adding another layer of clouds. Now, what you saw me do there is I wiped off my stencil and flipped it over so you can actually get 8 different edges off of this cloud stencil. Now, once I've kind of gotten to the bottom of the card where I can't really get another cloud in, I'm just going to add a little bit of that tumbled glass to the very bottom to kind of finish off the scene. After I've wiped up my surface a little bit to get any excess ink off, I'm reattaching those little pieces of Post-it tape, and this time I'm bringing in the Starry Sky stencil. So those strips of Post-it tape are going to hold my stencil down, and I am going to ink blend on a rainbow of color. And I'm using a variety of inks from Lawn Fawn, and once again, just a foam blending tool. Starting at the top, I have bubblegum ink. So I start off of the stencil, so on my work surface, and blend onto the stencil. And I'm just going to blend down just a little ways. I want to try and fit as many of the rainbow colors as I can. Next, I have Peach Fuzz. I thought this made a really nice light orange. And I'm kind of blending into the pink a little bit. I want to have a nice seamless transition between the colors. The next color I have is Sunflower. Then I'm going to move on to Celery Stick. And I'll also have Merman ink for a light blue. Now, as I get towards the bottom, some of this may end up getting covered up. I wasn't sure exactly if I was going to be adding anything towards the bottom of the card, but at least my background is complete just in case I want to use the whole panel. Now I just have one image that I'll be coloring today, and this is this cute little unicorn laying down. This is from the Unicorn Picnic stamp set. I stamped it in jet black ink onto the Lawn Fawn white cardstock, which I use for a lot of my Copic coloring, and I'm just adding a rainbow to the mane and the tail. I'll have all of the colors I use listed at the top of the screen, but just adding a 2-color blend just to show a little variation. And for the hooves, I'll be bringing in a W6, I believe it is, just to give a little bit of light gray to it. And for the body, I'm going to be using BV000 and BV0000. And that is a really, really light purple. I thought it was just a really cute color and kind of throwing in a little bit of the purple that I'm missing on a lot of my card. Then I'm holding down the coordinating die with Post-it tape and running that through the die cut machine. So here are some of the pieces that I'll be using. I have the snow globe die cut from white cardstock, the rim cut from holographic, and the base of my snow globe die cut from woodgrain cardstock. Then I also have the 3 sausage pieces, 2 full circles, and then 1 circle with those inserts die cut out of it. I have my 3 tabs, and then also a tab to actually move the slider open and shut. Now, my original plan for this card, I was going to just add a very light blue or even that tumbled glass to the edge of the snow globe. But then I had a quick, crazy idea, and I thought I would do rainbow colors going around the snow globe kind of help it stand out from the background just a little bit. So I'm using the exact same colors that I did for the starry background, just blending onto that edge, and I want to fade off. I don't want these colors to go all the way into the inside. I want to keep that nice and light and white if I can. So just a real light hand. I'm using circular motions when I'm blending on my ink colors here. So I'm adding in that merman ink, and then I'm able to sneak in grape jelly. And that one I did work a little bit to blend into the blue, only because I really wanted that purple to show up since it's not on my card a lot here. So after this is ink blended and I kind of wiped up my surface to pick up any excess ink, I'm going to bring in walnut ink and just a small finger dauber and adding that to the edge of the base of my snow globe, fading off as I get towards the center. And then I can get my snow globe put together. So I'm adding the base to the bottom of my snow globe just using a tape runner. And then I'm going to take some liquid glue and add it to those two rim pieces that I die cut from the holographic cardstock. I thought the holographic just was, fit really well with the unicorn theme that I had going on. I can then work on the assembly of my magic iris. So I'll be taking the circle that has the notches cut out of it and then the three sausage pieces, and I'm just going to slide those right into there, making sure it kind of forms that circle. Once I have those all lined up, I'll take the small glue dots and I'm going to place a glue dot over each X. Hard to see on camera, but there are little X's that were die cut into those sausage pieces. So I'm going to add those small glue dots right over that X. Once those are all in place, I'm going to take one of my full circles that I have die cut and I'm going to line it up right over the top. So I'm kind of holding these down and then placing that circle right on top. Then I'll flip this over and I'm going to take my tape runner and I'm going to add tape down so we can add our tabs to this. So there are little kind of perforated edges in there that you can see in person better than you can on camera. And I'm adding a little strip of tape runner. And then I'll be taking those three tabs and I'm going to line that up right to the inside edge of the circle. So we have all three of these and I left everything white just because most of my card has a lot of white in it. I didn't need to add much color. So after those tabs are added, I flip this back over and I'm taking my main tab that's going to actually open and close our iris, lining that up with that inside circle and creating a little V there next to the tab. Then I can add tape runner to those pieces that are sticking out from the tabs. I'm going to bring in my circle, my last circle, and then I'll fold these tabs in. Now you don't want these too tight. You just kind of want to loosely fold those in. So they're not going to be flush with that inner edge of the circle. Once those are all folded in, I will give this a test run, make sure that it does open and close smoothly because I don't want to go too much further if this isn't going to work. So I'm just giving that a test run. It works great. So we can work on adding this to the card. Now, one more quick thought I had with my snow globe is I thought of adding some just a sparkle to this, some more sparkle. It's a unicorn card. It's got to have sparkle. So I brought out my gansai tambi starry colors, added a couple drops of water to just that sparkle white there, the first tray, mix that up, and then I'm just flicking this on with my paintbrush. So it's very subtle, but it does add a little bit of shimmer. And then I did help kind of speed up that drying process with my heat tool. And now I'm bringing this to my background. I have my magic iris mechanism underneath, kind of lined up where it's going to go to make sure that my tab doesn't stick out too far, lined up the magic iris or my snow globe, and then I can add tape runner all over the front of my magic iris piece. So placing that back on, I didn't glue that down yet. It's just kind of as a placeholder. And then I can attach my snow globe to the top. Now, one of the circles that I had die cut out earlier, the inside piece, I die cut it again with a stitched cloud, and I just placed that in the inside of my circle. My snow globe is still not attached. I'm just kind of getting my items inside the snow globe, and then I just added adhesive to my little unicorn, and I'm tucking that in. So I like not having my snow globe attached yet because I can kind of rearrange and add things if I want. I did also stamp some clouds off screen. This is from the All the Clouds stamp set. So I didn't even color them. I just stamped them, die cut them, and then I'm adding a little one on each side, and I'll trim off the excess hanging off. Then I can bring this into my Misty stamping tool, and I'm going to stamp directly onto my background. So I'm using the black licorice ink, stamping the sending at the very top. And then I had die cut out a stitched cloud border that it's going to go on the bottom of my card, and I'm stamping the word sunshine on the bottom of that. Now to attach my magic iris, I'm going to add some foam squares to the little kind of tabs that we had folded in earlier. The foam squares kind of help prop this up a little bit so that the mechanism moves smoothly. Sorry, a little tongue-tied today. And then once I have those foam squares on there and I peeled off the backing, I can attach that right to my card front. I lined the bottom of my card with 2 layers of foam tape because I did add another layer of foam squares at the base of my snow globe. So I wanted everything to be flush, and you can kind of judge how much you need on there once you start putting your card together. And then here's a look. It opens and closes very smoothly, very bright, cheerful, and such a great way to use this snow globe magic iris outside of the holidays. I hope you enjoyed today's inspiration. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon.